Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
Well, let's go. It is Tuesday, and we're here for you at 6:06. We have, of course, at 8 o'clock, Q101's Fest, another chance to get to the Osheaga Music and Arts Festival in Montreal, which is the Killers, Cage the Elephant, Glass Animals, and more. And you'll qualify for Riot Fest tickets. 8 o'clock all week long. The Riot Fest tickets, you choose the day as well, whether it's Blink on Friday, Weezer, Jack White on Saturday, or Green Day on Sunday. 8 o'clock, we'll give you that keyword. And before then, at 7:10 in Clash with Kenzie, Lord tickets for the Madhouse.
Ooh.
So pretty stacked. We also have comedian Orny Adams tickets and music entertainment news at 8:50. So every hour, you pretty much get some entertainment and music experience that you can't get anywhere else except for here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Man, and right now, downtown, we're looking out the windows at Lake Michigan, and there's this bizarre mist coming in off the lake. The sun's rising. It looks like the whole city's on fire right now. And I'm just checking to make sure it isn't. Does anybody have any alerts that came over their phone or anything that I don't know about?
Running away from fire. They're probably also tuned in and going to text us.
Well, perhaps
stop.
perhaps you're in a safe distance and you got some alert that I didn't get, but right now it's coming in like from the water. Reminds me of the movie The Mist from 2007. There's something in the mist! And then that movie takes your soul. I could never have Case watch that movie because you would be a different person after that movie.
I've never heard of it. It's called The Mist.
The Mist. There was a 70s version of the movie, and then the remake in 07 is what I'm talking about, that features Frank Darabont, who did Shawshank, who did the first season of The Walking Dead, and a lot of the characters in that movie ended up being in The Mist and then in The Walking Dead later on.
I don't know any of these actors. I don't know Thomas Jane, Laurie Holden, Jeffrey Dooman, among others. I'm entirely unfamiliar with this. What is it?
So it's The Mist. You're right. Damon. Oh, his name is Damon. Jeffrey Damon.
Okay, I thought that's what I said.
Yeah, you said Damoon.
Oh, well, reading's hard.
Very disrespectful.
I don't know who the guy is.
Yeah,
is he good?
Well, he's also in The Walking Dead, and yes, he's very good. Everybody in the movie is good.
Okay.
The Mist, and it's the remake I'm talking about in 2007 that you should watch. Kenzie's a big horror movie fan.
And then I was like, I've seen it, but I'm like, you know what? I've also seen The Fog, and I'm getting them mixed up right now because they're very similar concepts.
And there probably is a Fog remake, too. There was a Fog in 1980, and there was one in 2005.
Yes,
the
and
Mist,
I saw the 2005 one.
Yeah. Who's in that? Anybody good?
Well, it's really foggy. It's hard to see.
Got it.
No, it's Tom Welling, Maggie Grace.
Jamie Lee Curtis is in the 1981.
Is she?
Yeah?
Yeah. I only know her from the yogurt commercials. It was nice to see her as an actor last year when I watched her in one of the scary movies.
You saw her in Halloween.
Yeah, I saw her in Halloween. I was like, oh, that's the lady from the yogurt commercials.
That's the lady from the yogurt commercial.
She's a good actor. I understand why she got that commercial now.
Yeah. Because of Halloween.
Yeah.
It was like 20 years later, but yeah.
But she's still good in the yogurt commercial.
They're like, you know who would do good in this? The girl who's almost got killed the whole time in that one Halloween movie.
But it's funny because she's so relaxed in the yogurt the Activia commercials. I'm like, all right, at what range to be scared
of course,
in
her
Halloween?
pH has been balanced.
I know.
Why wouldn't she?
I know. Sure, I bet her internal, pipes and everything are working great. She's incredible. I love her.
Nick and Joliet checked in, and he said, yes, The Mist would make its case probably wouldn't come in ever again after seeing the movie, the remake. I'm not kidding. It's everything you saw in horror movies that you don't like horror movies in your whole movie reviews on Friday at 8, of course we do those. But everything that, in the horror movie month that you didn't like, this movie encapsulates all of that into an ending that will destroy you.
But what's the movie about?
Well, it's about this mist, you see, that's coming in off the lake right now. And there's creatures. It turns out, I don't want to give a spoiler alert.
I'm never going to watch it. It's fine.
But somebody else might watch it. It's not just about you.
You know what? Fair.
Kenzie, would you watch it?
I mean, it's a Stephen King.
It's a Stephen King movie. Frank Darabont did the movie.
The Fog isn't. So I was trying to remember which one was which. The Fog's the worst one. Now that I remember.
Meaning
There's,
what?
Like,
The
people
worst?
with chains in The Fog. It's not as good.
With chains?
Yeah. It's like you're just getting like curb stomped in the fog. It's not good.
Yeah, The Mist is creatures that were released from a military experiment.
Like the Loch Ness Monster?
No.
No? But what are the, like, I don't understand what creatures would be there. Is it like the monkeys that escaped from the lab in South Carolina?
They're creepy creatures.
They're creepy. Well, monkeys are creepy.
They could be considered closer to that. As I got more check-ins from Joliet. Joliet must love The Mist.
That's what I've heard about that.
And we should do a screening down there, and you could host it. But yeah, the military. You blame the government eventually for The Mist.
Oh, so I love doing that.
You'd love that.
Oh my God, is this the? Oh, I'm in. Let's blame the government.
But the
some more.
ending is a lie.
The ending of The Mist in the 2007 version.
Oh my God.
You can't get past it. Is what I'm saying.
It messes you up, like you said, kind of like the ending of what's that TV show everybody liked, and then the ending was depressing.
Well, that's
MASH.
MASH's ending was
rough. Nobody, everyone told me, well, the ending's really rough, and I'm like, yeah, and then I saw the ending, and I went, oh my God, what is wrong? Why would you write that?
MASH, one of the funniest shows of all time, but also one of the most disturbing scenes in some of the shows. And then the ending, rough.
The ending is, you may be like, oh, okay, because I ignored it. Everyone's like, it's rough. I'm like, okay, whatever. They're sad because they're at war. Like, oh, how sad is it going to be?
Can't be that sad.
Oh my God.
Got the government paying for your 3 hots and a cot. It's okay, right?
Oh my God.
Besides the murdering of people. Yeah, MASH, still the most, if I remember correctly, the ending of MASH, the last episode, the most
just
watched.
Google it. If you don't want to watch MASH, which is fine, just Google what happens in the last episode. Your jaw is going to fall to the floor. It is awful.
Well, if you don't want to watch The Mist either, then Google what happens at the end of The Mist, 2007 version. And that will,
Endings that just destroy you.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
so kids don't watch any of those.
What else had just thing that destroyed you? For me, it was the first 2 pages of Pet Cemetery by Stephen King were the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It was like, well, we just opened the book. Why would you do that?
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for a fact that makes your brain go. For this one, we're going back to the year 1637 on this day. 388 years ago today, something involving how we eat that made it tremendously better, incredibly better. Food tastes better.
Wait, how long ago?
388 years ago.
388 years ago.
So I don't know if at the top of your head, something you want to guess that's food related that got better on this day 388 years ago, 1637 specifically.
Was it the first time they packaged a seasoning so you could shake it over your food?
Interesting. So you think they probably just went outside and rubbed the food on the grass to get the seasoning?
I mean, before, it's well, let's harvest a rock and then get the salt out. There's a lot of work to do everything.
Harvest a rock.
Well, there's salt in there.
I picture thinking 2 rocks just going tink, tink,
Tink,
tink,
tink,
tink.
tink. You get the salt, and it's a whole thing.
You know what's the worst? Is when you go to a restaurant and I want to salt something and it's all clogged up, the salt shaker.
Oh.
And you take it apart and the waitress looks at you like you're some kind of saltaholic maniac because I'm taking apart the salt shaker to make sure it flows okay and I'm blowing in there and it's not working. And so I just start dumping the salt from the open container onto the food that I want because I like salt.
Just spoon it then.
Oh, can I use a pinch? I can't put my hands in there.
You can't put your fingers in there. But every time something's clogged like that, I just know a kid put their mouth on it. It's a wet seal.
I know. They licked it.
Yep.
And it doesn't stop me. I think about it, but it doesn't stop me from adding salt, even though it's got...
as you open the jar.
But you're blowing on salt. That's just as bad as a kid licking it.
No, I don't have saliva in my blow.
What?
Saliva's not... I don't have spit in my blow.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, bummer.
That's rough.
That's usually preferred.
It's preferred to have spit in the blow?
Yes, never mind.
Too early in the morning.
I know. I'm not. How do I not get fired in the next 3 seconds?
Yeah, we'll move on.
And moving on.
We'll stick with packaged seasoning. It was the first time.
Packet seasoning. How
300
exciting. Imagine. Like, I'm not rubbing rocks together anymore. Let's go.
Well, just to be able to have cumin and not have to hunt for it.
Oh my gosh. Like, just everything at your fingertips.
Yeah.
You know? It'd be amazing. Like, imagine, like, because think about it. You know how some seasonings from different parts of the world?
Yeah.
It blew people's mind. Turmeric? What? What are we doing with this stuff?
Yeah, but I don't think when they killed a raccoon, they were worried about adding that seasoning. They were just, we have to eat this because there's no grocery
Yeah,
stores.
but the second they had that seasoning, they were like, how did I live without this? This raccoon's now delicious.
It really is true that once you add a certain seasoning to something, you can never, for example, Gibson seasoning salt.
I used it last night.
Once you have that, you're like, why didn't I ever have this? Like when I was, out of the womb, they hand this to you and say season everything.
And that's what I'm saying. Like you have to be generous with the seasoning.
Yeah, don't skimp. Case, what do you think? 388 years ago, food got better because of this. Eating got better because of this.
I think on this day in history, the plastic holders that you use to eat corn on the cob to turn it easier, to have a greater turning radius and a higher velocity at which you can turn the corn while you're eating it.
You are so European sometimes.
I'm sorry that I have heritage. I think those were invented 300-something years ago today.
You use those?
I don't like corn on the cob. I'm anti-corn, but
Me too.
Oh, my man!
Wow.
But
Why
I
are
think
you guys anti-corn on the cob?
Not to get too descriptive on it, I used to love corn on the cob as a kid. Now it just upsets my stomach, and I don't know. That's it. So I just don't eat it at all. I used to just roll.
You think your body just doesn't know how to digest vegetables?
No.
Because you say that about apples too. So it's like
Yeah.
you have like a fruit, veggie, healthy food problem. But you never go, that Baconator really upset my stomach, which is interesting. So corn and apples do you in though, huh?
Well, then maybe the information we get is incorrect, and Baconators are better for you than apples and corn.
oh, it's the beef tallow.
Yeah, you know
I
what?
heard
Let
it's
me
good
see
for
that.
you.
Let me see those abs. Lift your shirt up.
You know what? You saw him in that slim-fitted suit Friday night at the wedding.
Looking good.
Looking tight. All right, so Case says it's the corn holders, and Kenzie says it's packaged seasoning. Today, 388 years ago, 1637, food got better, eating got better, and we'll tell you what it is after Third Eye Blind. Brian and Kenzie on Q101, just 3 minutes away, the fact that makes your brain go.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101 with a fact that makes your brain go. Not before I read this text from a first-time texter checking in from 815. Welcome to the party. We love you. Thanks for being here. He says,
We love you.
want to know the fact that makes your brain go boom. However, it shouldn't take you 14 minutes to spit out the answer.
So you must be new here.
Oh, well, welcome to the show, sir or
It's
ma'am.
going to take us 14 minutes to do anything. So get cozy.
See, you're new to the show, possibly with a first-time text. So I want to just let you know what we do is we chop it up. You see, which is we put something out there, and the three of us, myself, Brian, Kenzie, and Case, put our own take and opinions on things, and we get in these conversations, kind of like you and your family or friends do. And before we know it, whoa,
Hey.
show's over. Wow.
Wait, we never got to the point.
Would you say we like to wet their beak a little bit? Is that
Yeah.
how you would describe it?
Yes.
That's an appropriate case.
I don't think it is. I think that's what we do here. We're wetting beaks.
It depends on your definition of wet your beak, which we're not going to get into because that'll delay the fact quite some time longer.
Because that's a whole thing.
That's
Listen,
all.
we're going to lose 815. He's going to hate us.
Yeah. Just hang with us, madam or sir. We'll get the fact to you, which, by
By the way,
way,
during the break, Brian's like, you don't understand how teasing works. I go, how about you text him a radio breakdown and just text him that?
you see, we try to keep people around in the show. Hopefully you enjoyed the Third Eye Blind song before we gave you the payoff here.
Well, they kick ass, so he probably did.
Completely kick
Get to the
ass.
facts. We're losing him.
I almost did a sidebar on Stephen Jenkins and how amazing he was when he was on the show a couple years ago.
I think he might be the most underappreciated frontman in all of music. The first Third Eye Blind record, which that song was on. The first Third Eye Blind record.
815, hang on. We're going to get there. Hang on. We're going to get the payoff.
It's full of SCCs. And what does SCC stand for?
Oh my God, they have diseases?
Stone Cold Classics. That first Third Eye Blind record is unbelievable.
That's great. It's really good.
I think you said STDs.
No. SCC.
I'm like, you don't have to put them on blast like that.
No, I love him.
Full of STDs.
Before we get the fact to help out 815, Matt just checked in. How do you know someone's a first-time texter? Do they tell you? Sometimes they do. But 815 texted in, and we have your whole thread. We keep all your threads. So if you've texted in every day, Kenzie sees these text threads, and we can go back years and see your entire thread.
Let me tell you something. You were pretty mean when I started here, and now you're playing Mr. Nice Guy, and I remember.
Hey, we're glad they came around. Things are working out.
But just so you know, I know.
And she took that personally.
And I took that personally.
Like Michael Jordan, who's in the
Have
news.
you won anything lately? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Savage. That's how
Probably
you-
not.
All right, here we go. The fact, 388 years ago, 1637, back in the day, on this day, something was created that made food better, that made eating better. You won't even imagine it without this once we tell you what it is. Kenzie said it was packaged seasoning. So they didn't, quote, have to take their food out and crack rocks on it to give some kind of seasoning or rub it in the dirt, which they probably did back then. Case thinks it's the plastic holders that hold corn on the cob. They created that 388 years ago. Great guesses, but see, that's the fun of this 815. We get guesses on it, we chop it up a little more, but those are both wrong. The real answer, 388 years ago in France, Cardinal Richelieu, who was the bad guy in the Three Musketeers, by the way.
But he's a cardinal?
Yeah, he was a cardinal.
Like he can nominate a pope?
He could.
Okay.
He could. He probably did. He probably did after he invented this. The frickin' table knife.
The freaking table.
So before this guy invented the table knife, which was rounding off a dagger, people used to take the daggers to cut their food and then pick their teeth with the daggers at the table. I mean, picture a dagger that a knight holds. Not
That would have
just-
been way better. You know, like sometimes the table knives just aren't tough enough. I wish we all had daggers.
Well, you can have the dagger, like the steak knife right there, too. You should have that at your table as well when you set the table.
So,
every
like,
day.
you're saying the butter knife, basically?
So the butter knife, basically. Like, you ever run out of butter knives? They're in the dishwasher, and you take that steak knife to get butter out, and you're, like, stabbing the butter trying to get it out. It's like,
I have to
this
be
sucks.
honest, you guys.
It
I
sucks.
am such a psychopath because
Well, you
I...
don't need to go on.
We're good. Segment's over.
Yeah, we're done. We know what you're saying.
That seemed unnecessary.
Okay, what about the knives?
All right, go
I
ahead.
do use a steak knife for everything.
For butter?
I have all these butter knives. I've never touched them. Like, I give them to, like, my son to, like, because, you know, he's 10. I'm like, you use a butter knife, but I've seen you in action. Let's round off that top, okay? But I never, ever, ever use our butter knives. I use a steak knife or, like, an actual, like, you know, chef knife when I'm cooking for everything.
Yes, chef.
I go sharp.
847 checked in, and they have a good question. Wait, how does a knife make food taste better? Because the fact was, this thing was invented that makes food taste better.
Seriously, Brian, what are you doing?
I will answer that because just what I was saying. When you tried to stab the butter, when you can use that butter knife and get a full pallet of butter spread evenly across the bread, a steak knife can't spread it across the bread. Therefore, your toast, your sourdough bread, whatever bread you like, perhaps an everything bagel, tastes better with the butter evenly spread on it with that buttered knife, the rounded edge, the big smattering of butter can spread easily more than on a dagger. You're spreading your toast with a dagger. You're going to tear up the bread. It tastes better. There's your answer.
Thank you, butter expert.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Well, a lot coming up in sports in 5 minutes after Imagine Dragons and how the Bulls got screwed beyond belief to make them a bad basketball team for the next century. That happened last night. We're going to get into that in sports. But first, we discussed the fact that makes your brain go, which was 388 years ago today, the butter knife was invented. The freaking butter knife was invented.
Freaking butter knife.
It's incredible that technology, of course, making food better, and people are arguing with me that it doesn't necessarily make food better. It does. When you can spread things perfectly like butter all over evenly with the butter knife, the rounded edge, instead of using a dagger and breaking your toast up in pieces trying to do that. Although Kenzie saying, quote, I'm a psychopath. I use knives for everything. Steak knives, daggers.
For everything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. It's just how you live your life.
Or I like to be ready, you know.
Well, that's now we got to the really why you have a steak knife. It's not just for, saving time washing butter knives. It's because you want to be ready with a knife in your hand.
No, I want to be ready I'm talking about for my food.
Oh.
I to kill people.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
okay, you grab a butter knife and it's not going to work. It's only going to work for the soft stuff. But if you have a steak knife, it's both. It's less dishes.
It's a lot of hassle. Those knives, 2 knives, it's a lot.
And you have a dishwasher.
Yeah.
I'm the dishwasher.
I'm the
I guess you
dishwasher
could say
now.
I have one.
We had some texts come in. First off, unrelated, 630 said, tell Case I 100% agree. Third Eye Blind is so underrated, and not just the first album. That was a side subject in that conversation, how Third Eye Blind was good because we played Third Eye Blind before we gave you the answer to the fact.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Also, Ann checked in. My high schooler just said in the car, most people carried daggers back then, and butter wouldn't have been that nice shape.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Which I was mentioning. The round edge, it wouldn't have been that good
Yeah.
shape and spread over that. It's a smart high schooler there.
A bunch of jagged butter. That doesn't really sound as appealing.
It isn't. It isn't. Also, the question came in, how old is butter then? If butter knife is 388 years ago, 1637, are you guys prepared for the answer of how old butter is?
Kenzie, do you want to take a guess as to how old butter is?
Oh my! I think Jesus had butter.
See, I don't think Jesus had butter.
I mean, he had wine. Like a little butter.
Wait.
Okay.
How are wine and butter related?
It just comes from milk. There's no way. All you gotta do is churn that thing. Okay. Come on.
So he turned water into wine. Did he turn Monster Energy drink into butter?
They turn milk into butter.
Oh, yeah, milk.
That is a takeaway for today. Jesus needed to churn that thing.
Okay.
Butter. A secondary fact, by the way, before we get to sports, has been
Bonus.
butter has been around 9,000 years.
Wow.
Pre-Jesus.
I said what I said.
Yeah. That means dinosaurs had butter. Well, I don't know. Dinosaurs died out like a million years ago, I think.
What
A
happened? Go ahead.
T-Rex couldn't churn. Look at those arms. Use your head, Brian. God, it's sometimes.
But you don't think Jesus could have churned it for a T-Rex?
I don't think they were together. I get very confused on the dinosaur Jesus timeline, and I've told you that before.
We're going to get in a real wormhole of probably a wrong religious conversation as we had a couple weeks ago. If we go that route, if Jesus rode a T-Rex to the Last Supper.
So, what happened 9,000 years ago? Can I get context for when butter was invented?
9,000 years ago. First off, I was trying to see when dinosaurs went extinct. That was 66 million years ago. So Jesus did not ride a T-Rex.
Okay, so he was after the dinosaur.
Way after. And what happened 99 years ago, like on the Earth, like where we were at?
Yeah, I just want to know what was happening. Because I know there wasn't like an NBA draft that year, so we can't really mark time by that. But what was happening 9,000 years ago? Give me a name. Who was alive 9,000 years ago?
Well, it was a significant transition in human history, including the beginning of the agricultural practices and the rise of proto-cities. So there were nomad hunter-gatherers around 9,000 years ago.
I don't understand anything you just said. That was what?
There-
Proto-city? Like what?
Like the first city. Like there was no cities back then, but they started around 9,000 years ago. People said, hey, maybe we should all live in the same area. And then we can get a condo.
Maybe get a condo.
Instead of just living sporadically across the desert or whatever. So that's a proto-city. And these were hunter-gatherers that went around and think about that. They woke up and all they had to figure out was, how am I going to eat today?
Oh, God.
There was no Jewel. There's no grocery store. They had to go figure it out.
That sounds awful.
But they still had butter.
Of course they did.
Yeah, but they didn't have a fridge.
Think about how many things butter, because they baked bread and they did all these things. Of course they had butter.
How'd they bake bread without an oven?
Yeah, when was the oven invented?
Fire. They made ovens. It's like
They
clay ovens.
made ovens?
Yeah, that's when you would do like kind of like a wood. Like think about like when you go to like those wood fire pizzas places. It's like that. Like those are the kind of ovens.
Oh, man, 9,000 years ago, they had wood-fired pizza?
That's awesome.
I
so
didn't say
good.
that.
So
I
good.
said that kind of oven. Like you do the whole clay thing.
Yeah.
And with the wood under it.
Wait, if butter is 9,000 years old,
Okay.
when's the fridge? We were talking.
The fridge was invented The first fridge was invented in 1915. Home fridges were invented a few years later in 1918.
Oh, so fridges are not that old.
You think Eskimos are like bull crap?
Well, they had freezers more so than
They're
fridges,
like,
I
we've
think.
had a fridge for a long time.
Laying it out on ice is not a fridge.
Why? It's the like old school version of it.
The old
We
school
make
fridge.
butter differently now. We have different kind of ovens now.
It's fridge 1.0.
Yeah, it was
Ice.
the original fridge. How could you say that?
How dare you?
You know what's crazy is like all of that, like that hunting and gathering stuff you were describing, like that sounds so awful, right? I would hate to have that. But most of Earth has been that. It's only in the last 100 years that we've had grocery stores and refrigerators.
And don't you look around and go, maybe we should be hunting and gathering?
No!
I do.
Kenzie,
I think men should be busier.
No, I had a Snickers ice cream bar last night. We're living in the perfect time period.
When was that invented?
The Snickers ice cream bar?
Not at the same time as butter.
It's the last thing we're Googling. Hold on, I'm going to get an answer.
We'll go one more thing, then we got to get to sports. There's a lot going on in sports. We
Whole
have to get
thing. It was
to.
a big sports day yesterday.
Yeah, huge sports day. The Bulls
Was
got
it
screwed.
really?
Yeah,
What, so we shoot a basketball?
no, it's the NBA fixed. They hate Chicago. The NBA. They fixed the lottery against the Bulls. We'll get to that in a second.
So is the lottery really like
We'll get-
anybody can just have any number? Like
No.
you don't know. You could just be the last bit. Like it's literally like a lottery.
Kenzie, full explanation coming up in 3 minutes after
Kind
Imagine
of like the
Dragons.
Hunger Games, just pull your name out of a bowl. Is that what happens?
We'll explain it in sports. But you're right. It's exactly what happens.
Okay.
It's like the Hunger Games.
It's just like the Hunger Games. The Snickers ice cream bar was invented in 1989.
That's
Oh,
it?
I mean,
Most humans did not exist when the Snickers ice cream bar was on Earth.
Wow.
What a horrible life to live.
God, Jay.
I don't know if I've ever had a Snickers ice cream bar.
Oh my God, Kenzie, go get one. Leave. Go to Walgreens across the
Oh my
street.
God, can I leave?
Go to Walgreens right now and get a Snickers ice
It's
cream
only
bar.
God.
it's only a 3-minute song. She can't come back from Walgreens in 3
Oh
minutes.
no, am I gonna miss sports?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Yes, how the NBA hates Chicago. The fix was in. We'll explain. At McCormick Place last night, the NBA lottery draft, what they did is disgusting, abhorrent. One of the worst things ever to happen in Chicago since the fire happened in the draft last night. We'll talk about it in 3 minutes.
Good Lord.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. I couldn't even get through it.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.